I seem to have missed the P sauna. It sounds like I'm spit off a persona. P-Sauna 5.
P-Sauna 5. Oh, God.
Oh, that'd be horrifying.
Have you ever noticed that our microphones say 666?
No, I haven't actually.
Well, here.
No, I just looked at mine. Joey, please don't ruin Christmas.
There I go, ruining Christmas again.
Once again.
It's me, the Grunch.
The discount Grinch.
Yeah, me.
You had a story you wanted to tell.
I do.
That's gonna take the whole episode.
Well, maybe not the whole episode, but it's gonna take a.
It's gonna take 50.
I have a
50
rant.
Minutes. Go for it. What are you gonna rant about, Jibba?
So, I rewatched the Blair Witch Project recently.
Oh no.
And I was don't get me wrong, I was never like big on, I was never a huge fan of the Blair Witch Project to begin with.
Considering it scarred you. Wasn't that the one that you thought was real?
No, that was Paranormal Activity. Which, looking back, I will say the Blair Witch Project is far more effective than Paranormal Activity is. But
actually, hang on a sec.
Yeah.
Speaking of Blair Witch, so that's the one in the woods, right?
You know the one horror movie that takes place in the woods.
The one found footage movie. It's in the woods, right?
Yes.
Okay, so back in the day, Cartoon Network put a, oh my god, that's horrifying. Oh, it's disgusting. So Cartoon Network, a while ago, they put a little short for Halloween. It was the Blair Witch Project, but with Scooby-Doo characters inserted.
Why didn't they do Total Drama Island?
I don't think
that would have fit perfectly.
I don't think it existed yet. But yeah, and
although now I'm thinking of it, Scooby-Doo makes sense.
Yeah, but like, it scared so many kids that they never aired it again.
You're serious?
I have yet to watch it, but like,
scared or scarred?
Yes, all the above. But yeah, it broke some people, and I'm like, you know what? That's fair.
I mean, how do we even top that?
We can like watch it, like we can look it up as we're purging.
Hey man, I'm down.
I'm interested. I forgot about that until you mentioned this.
But actually, funny enough, real quick, that you're talking about Paranormal Activity. So when I first, Blair Witch was actually before my time, because Blair Witch came out in 1999. But Paranormal Activity, I remember when that came out, and my sister and I had watched it. And once the movie got over, because, that's the whole point of this movie, is to make you believe that these events actually happened. And we were freaking out, because I think I was 8 at the time?
Oh boy!
And so, we were like, we were determined it was real. And, this actually happened. And until we got to the main screen again, and we saw that there were alternate endings, and we're like, yeah, something.
Also, the fact that there was special features probably should have tipped you off.
Well, I actually.
Or was there not any?
I don't know if there. Well, because I think we had just rented it.
Oh, I see.
And so we were, as little kids, You have a very active imagination.
Oh, I know. I had the same problem with Lost Tapes, where I missed the mockumentary portion of the description. I'm like, I thought it was real.
You're not alone in that though, because like I said, I sent Eric this link to this guy named Wendigo, which funny enough he actually goes over the Wendigo episode, and they, I guess that's like a common like a lot of kids were like scarred by Lost Tapes.
Really?
Because, you go on Animal Planet, you don't expect to find...
Oh, yeah.
It was a Discovery Channel.
I don't remember.
It was one of those, but no, and so, like, he was saying, he's like, yeah, and funny enough, I think it was that, and then, what he had the Bad Wolf thing, too.
Bad Wolf?
The It's Too Early for Bed guy. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Oh, and then a Thomas movie.
What?
I just sent this to you.
Thomas the Tank Engine?
Here you go. Or the Weasel. That's what
Oh, it's this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then is that for Magic Railroad?
That one? Yeah.
Yeah. But no, and it was like funny enough. This is like Eric's childhood. But no.
Wait. He's saying that the weasel thing scarred people?
Oh well, just him. But. Well, no. What's it called? Lost Tapes was the like universal thing.
Well,
though,
yeah.
Yeah. But this was just stuff that he looking back, freaked him out as a kid.
Okay.
But no. So, anyways. Anywho, so I watched the Blair Witch Project recently, for the second time, and I remember that after my first viewing of it, I was like, "This is dumb. I don't like this. Like, why was this? Why did this like? It's one of."
Exploded.
Don't quote me on this, but I want to say it's one of the highest grossing movies out there, just because of how cheap it was to make.
Yeah, at least relative to the budget.
And how much it raked in. Yeah, it's not the highest grossing movie, but it certainly made,
a good amount of money.
Yeah, because I think they spent I want to say 50,000 on it, and then they raked in millions.
Yeah.
So I rewatched it recently, and I actually my takeaway from it was this is actually better than I initially thought.
Mm-hmm.
But then I watched the sequels. And
why would you do that?
Why would I do that? Why would I do that to myself, Eric?
I don't know, Joe.
Literally everything that made the Blair Witch Project groundbreaking to begin with, because this, granted, keep in mind, this was the movie to kick off found footage.
Yes.
I'm sure there was stuff before it and everything, but this was certainly the most popular one that that kind of started the movement. And such.
Certainly.
And then that led to your stuff like Paranormal Activity or your Cloverfield. But I digress. So I watched the second one, Blair Witch 2, the Book of Shadows, which might I say there was no Book of Shadows, so I don't know why that's the title. And I'm watching this, and just the first few minutes, and you already have an idea of what you're in for. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. The first few minutes look promising, because they're basically, it's set in a world where the Blair Witch Project is just a movie, and it's showing the effects that it's having on their town and everything. That all these tourists are coming there, and wanting to experience it and everything like that. But you get past that point and you start to realize that they followed up a found footage movie with just a regular movie. Yeah. And see, the biggest crime that I had with it was that, so in the Blair Witch Project, the whole premise of it is,
Great. The Blair Witch.
You could either love it or hate it. The first time, I was bored out of my mind. Because the whole point is, you're supposed to doubt if the Blair Witch is actually real.
Okay.
Because they never show the Blair Witch.
Okay.
So, this could just be kids running around the woods getting freaked out and everything. And, there could be foul play or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point, is that you don't know.
Okay.
Whereas in the sequels, they outright show the Blair Witch.
Oh.
So that kind of ruins the entire...
It's like how the Jaws sequels show way too much of the shark.
Exactly. That's what made it scary, was that,
you don't see the shark.
A part of you was like, is this real or is it not?
Or is it a fantasy?
Caught in a landslide? No escape from reality?
I don't know.
But no, and so the sequel after that was decent at best. It was okay. But there were, the second one there were parts where I audibly, and it's hard to make me laugh on my own. there were parts that made me die laughing. I cracked up at this movie.
Wow.
It was like because they put it out a year after the first one.
Yeah.
So it's not like there was a big gap or anything.
Where they just kind of lost touch
but
with
just the complete 180 that they threw me, because this was like 90s. Well, actually, no, it wasn't 90s. It was 2000.
Oh, even better.
But it certainly felt like 90s cheese. Like it was. God, it was. Wow.
Apparently one of the, I can't remember if it was a Silent Hill or a Resident Evil movie tried to scare you with a Pop-Tart. Like it cuts to a whitish background, and then like Pop-Tart pops up. It's like, huh.
Well, that's the other thing. So this, like, the Blair Witch Project didn't have, at least that I remember, it really didn't have any cheap jump scares.
Yeah.
Whereas this, there was, how people joke around about there being like a loud dung like every few minutes in a horror
Chung,
movie?
yeah.
Like this was literally that movie. Like everything, like they did the fake out jump scare so many times to the point where even the characters in the movie said, "Stop doing that." I was like, I know, I feel the same way.
I agree. Stop doing that.
I've actually, speaking of that though, I think I've only seen the first Resident Evil and the first Silent Hill, which, as far as I know,
like the game or the movie.
The movies.
Okay.
Which, as far as I know, that's all you really need. Because
I've heard they're not good.
Well, here's the thing. They're horror movies and game-based movies, neither of which have the best track record of having, what happened? Yeah?
They did 999 damage to me and Chris each. The fuck was that?
I'll tell you what it was. That's a lot of damage.
It really was. Let me just heal us really quick.
I will say one thing though. If there was one iota of good in this movie, it had a banging soundtrack. Because it was all like the 90s,
Yeah, I was just watching the final fight scene from Kung Fu Panda 2.
Yeah.
Oh, the music slaps.
Oh yeah. And like, I think I told you, this guy answers the phone one time, and his ringtone, I'm listening, and I don't know if you heard it, because it's kind of hard to hear with the video I sent you.
I heard it.
And I was like, is that Dragula by Robert Zombie?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
We got 2 minutes. I'm gonna listen to that again after we're done. I did not.
But that's why I said it's really hard to pick out.
I did not pick that out.
Especially recorded on my crappy iPhone.
I'm gonna listen to that again because
Which is why I said, pretty shitty sequel, but banging ringtone. My
yeah,
guy.
I'm like, why are you bringing Dragula up? I was so confused.
But yeah, no. Oh, and by the way, side note, the sequel after that, Blair Witch 2016. You know who that was directed by?
Whom?
The same guy that did Godzilla vs. Kong, or other way around.
Wait, no, it's
Okay.
the new one, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, who
No,
was?
he didn't direct the old one.
God, who was it?
Adam Wingard.
Thank you. Yes.
He also, and that's why I kind of enjoyed that one, especially because that one went back to the found footage thing. So I'm like, thank you. It's still
I
not.
thought you were talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm like, what?
It's still not as good as the original, which very little is these days. But at least,
yeah.
At least it wasn't such a slap in the face as the second one. But also he directed a couple. He directed a couple other movies that I enjoyed. So I was like, all right, I can get on that.
You don't want them to try and get the Dark Knight syndrome, where it's like, this movie was big, we pick out 1 or 2 things about it, and then everyone else does nothing but that.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of what Toho's been doing recently with with Godzilla, because you look at so Shin Godzilla was this massive success,
Yeah.
and they've been desperately trying to go that same route, and nothing else is hitting that same mark.
Huh.
Yeah, which
Why would you hit me? And on that note,
you gotta ask Omni-Man that question.
Think, Mark, think.